Tyvis Powell, former NFL cornerback, talking about why he thinks the Browns' coaching job is more attractive than the Steelers.
When you look at Pittsburgh, how great Pittsburgh is, it's not that big of a difference between Pittsburgh and the Browns to me. I mean, I think the Browns, when you look at the Steelers, their roster, their guys are old. You're trying to figure out what TJ Watt's going to do. You're still looking for the quarterback. Obviously you got Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf on the offensive side of the ball, but outside of that, it's not really a whole lot to work with there. So it's really you really flipping a coin between the Browns and the Steelers as far as how attractive that job looks as a head coach.
Yeah, I think if you separate the museum and the history from Pittsburgh, it's really tough. I think it's like Arizona bad. I think it's you don't have quarterback, you don't have assets, you don't have young building blocks, you don't have, like you mentioned here, that top three defense. You don't have a rookie class that you can kind of build around that appears that maybe we have here with guys like Schlesinger and Fannin and those type of guys, even Mason Graham, who came on as the season went along. I think it's a very, very difficult job.
So, G. Bush, the thing I will say, the Steelers have had 3 head coaches since 1969. Let me put that in context. Catholic Church has had 6 popes during that time. And those guys pretty much have to die to be replaced.
That's
all right.
Lifetime appointments.
Right. So, while the roster I can't argue with, but the one thing they have in place is a structure that develops and again, it's a different day than 19 years ago when they hired Mike Tomlin, but their structure is in place that allows a young head coach to kind of feel his way through it, and that organization is strong enough to withstand that.
Yeah, the thing that if you want to push back, and the thing that the Steelers do have is this: if I'm a young coach, I know that if I go there and they choose me, I'm going to have all the opportunity to have a runway to make mistakes and to grow my way into that job. The Steelers are not going to hire you and say you are now the leader of our organization moving forward and fire you in a year. Now, we saw Jimmy Haslam. He's gotten a little better, right?
Yep.
He fired Straczynski after a year. He fired who else? Freddie Kitchens after a year. But he gave Kevin Stefanski 6 years, right? So, But if you get hired in Pittsburgh, you know you're going to have an opportunity to grow and to do something, and you at least have job security to figure it out and to implement your full plan and your vision of what you want to make the Pittsburgh Steelers are. So that's one thing. But if you do take a look at the roster, the thing that you do look, I think the trajectories of both teams' rosters are opposite. Both teams need a quarterback, but at least the Browns have young quarterbacks already in the building that they've seen some things from and are looking or probably at the second step of the process of figuring out who those guys are. So you've seen a little bit something from Shedeur Sanders. You're looking to see some more in 2026. So at least the guys are identified in the building. You have a reclamation product in Deshaun Watson, and you're letting that contract expire and see what's going to go on with that. But you do have 2 first-round picks. You do have a lot of young talent. Your best young players, your best young guys on the team are young guys in Schlesinger and Mason Graham and Quinshon Judkins and Harold Fannin, all those guys. And then you have a much better defense on the other end of the spectrum. Myles Garrett, obviously the best defensive player in the league, Denzel Ward. So the rosters and trajectories are going to 2 different ways. I think if you want to have more stability and a more solid, prestigious job, I still would give it to the Steelers because of who they are and what they've done in the ownership. But if you're a person who's not, enthralled with that, and you think that you're a guy who can change the tides of time and you love what you can do, bringing to the table, I think the Browns roster and situation is a little more intriguing than the Steelers.